Hey, good morning and welcome to a Hump Day here on Don't At Me. We got our swag going. If you want some swag, go to dandakich.com. I may have to charge it because all the money will then go to our cycles for the city. All right, baby. Colin Kaepernick is a commie. Who'd have thunk it? Raise your hand. I would have thunk it. Colin Kaepernick is mad and he is going Marxist. He's got a new book out. And it is done by two Marxist dudes that Colin Kaepernick likes. And he is mad about the heteropatriarchy. You know what that is? That means we so worry about who people are having sex with in this country. It is unbelievable. But the heteropatriarchy, ladies and gentlemen, is basically saying that dudes that have sex with women and women that have sex with dudes control everything. They have higher power in society than others. Look, I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is it is, in my opinion, far longer that dudes having sex with women and women having sex with dudes have been around in this country. I'm not saying that homosexuality hasn't been around forever, but how'd you populate the earth? You didn't do it through dudes screwing dudes and chicks screwing chicks. So you populated the earth by dudes screwing women. So next thing you know, those people seem to have risen, and we've got a heteropatriarchy, and Colin Kaepernick is not mad at it, is very mad about it. Now, I'll give Colin Kaepernick credit for this. I honestly will. Colin Kaepernick, when he doesn't speak, when you don't have to listen to him, sounds pretty intelligent. And I'll give him credit because I like when people challenge authority. I do. And Colin Kaepernick is basically just another guy out there. Now, in Kaepernick's crowd, he is a hero. He is a savant. He is a messiah. So we are to genuflect to him. But I love the way that Kaepernick speaks when I read it. When I hear Kaepernick, I go, yeah, I don't know. I always look at people's eyes and face when they speak. I've long admired the two black Marxists' work, as well as their uncompromising political analysis and understanding that black liberation simply isn't possible under capitalism. Now, under capitalism, you go to work. I mean, seriously, look, I understand people have advantages and disadvantages, but you go to work. You go to school. You be a dad. You be responsible. You make choices not to do drugs. It doesn't matter if you're white or black. These things work for everybody in this country. So I understand it challenges readers to see that racism is just not white supremacy's only ingredient. The supremacy persists in part because of the relationship with capitalism. And there's our heteropatriarchy. Because I have sex with women, I am at a higher power. Man, maybe he's right. What are you going to do? I don't know what to tell you. Keep writing. Keep going. Ableism. What else? And so on. Oh, okay. Well, what are you going to do? Yeah, I don't know. Hey, look, I feel like, and I know I'm wrong, I know I'm a white middle-aged man, so my opinion does not count, certainly, but I feel like, look, I know enough people that are African-American, Asian. Hell, my own family came over on the boat, Serbians, worked in steel mills. One life got better for the other, meaning my grandfather's life got better for my father's life. My father's life made it better for my life. My life has made it better for my son's life. I understand that because everybody went to work. Now, hey, look, I'm not saying people are lazy. I'm just saying that people need to go to work. And I think that it is important that we have people. I think it is important that Kaepernick does what he does. But Kaepernick being a commie is not a surprise. It's absolutely not a surprise. I mean, look, the United States could do everything right, and Kaepernick has to complain and try to divide to get his cap cash, to get his thing. And that's great. That's fine. Good for him. He's got his grift on, and now he's a commie. And that's good. His parents, his white parents that took care of him, obviously were racist. He's a commie. Marxism rules. Class system. We're going to have everybody, the workers, and the rich are going to get richer, which is what we're already seeing. So good for Cap. I'm all in on Cap. You keep doing it. We need people questioning authority. We do. We can't have sheep walking around here blindly following, but I would argue, look, somebody figures it out, says, all right, I'm actually going to believe in hard work, doing this right. Usually people can succeed to a certain level. I'm not saying everybody has the same advantages. I'm just saying. We can go along and say there are rotten things in this country, but the ability to go to work, particularly now where jobs are everywhere, put your nose in a grindstone and get stuff done has never been more prevalent. Look, we have a country of thieves. We do. We're being stolen from. Let me go to a video that shows you what our government has done with billions going to the Ukraine. Our government cannot even keep track of the freaking money. They can't keep track of the money. An accounting error, ladies and gentlemen. Just here, go. Take a look here. An accounting error. Yeah, that's right. An accounting error has taken and given our tax dollars more money to the Ukraine. So what it is an accounting error is now code word for paying off a bribe to the Biden crime family. Let's play the video.
Following up from some announcements earlier this year, during the department's regular oversight of our execution of presidential drawdown authority for Ukraine, we discovered inconsistencies in equipment valuation for Ukraine. In a significant number of cases, services used replacement costs rather than net book value, thereby overestimating the value of the equipment drawn down from U.S. stocks and provided to Ukraine. Once we discovered this misvaluation, the comptroller reissued guidance on March 31st, clarifying how to value equipment in line with the financial management regulation and DoD policy to ensure we use the most accurate of accounting methods. We have confirmed that for FY23, the final calculation is $3.6 billion, and for FY22, it is $2.6 billion, for a combined total of $6.2 billion. These valuation errors in no way limit or restricted the size of any of our PDAs or impacted the provision of support to Ukraine. And while the DoD retains the authority to utilize the recaptured PDA, this has no bearing on appropriated USAI or Ukraine PDA replenishment funding approved by Congress.
She threw a lot of words in there to basically tell you we're giving more money to Ukraine. How about that? How about that's where our tax dollars are going? How about our tax dollars aren't going to have a Department of Justice that isn't two-tiered? Our tax dollars are not going, well, frankly, they're not going to make sure that the Biden crime family is at least investigated. Our tax dollars aren't going to infrastructure or homelessness. Our tax dollars are going to Ukraine to pay off bribes that Biden family allegedly took. That's all it is. And nobody, and I mean nobody, in the Senate is worried about it. Nobody. And it's amazing to me. It's astounding to me. So here, once again, your tax dollars are going to a war where they bribed the president, allegedly, of the United States, and certainly paid off the son of the president of the United States. It is amazing to me that we just sit back and take this. I think, and I may protest, and I may not pay taxes. Now, look, I don't know what I am going to do about it. I don't. And I always say it's amazing we support this. Look, anybody that doesn't think that this election was taken, and I mean taken in terms of voter harvesting, illegal votes, fat asses sitting at home because they don't want to get off their ass and go get an ID, ballots coming to homes, who knows who filled them out. Anybody doesn't think that it was taken is nuts. Anybody that doesn't think the next election won't be taken is nuts. The midterm, the Democrats have this figured out, and it sucks. It goes against the American way. It goes against the American way to watch so many in this country struggle, and yet our money goes to Ukraine to pay off bribes, alleged bribes. It sucks. Don't think for a second that what I'm telling you isn't true. It is not a right-wing conspiracy. Everything's a right-wing conspiracy, and then it comes true. Did you see all of a sudden now, hey, where'd our COVID virus start? Oh, wait a second. It started in a lab in Wuhan. Oh, my gosh, who would have thunk it? The WHO, the World Health Organization, made a mistake. They short-checked. We knew. Look, we knew. What the hell's wrong with us? We absolutely knew. Everybody knew. And all of a sudden, well, hold on here a second. Wait a second. No, there's no wait a second. The only honest politician is one of the most corrupt is Donald Trump. When he tells you something about what's happening in the world, 99% of the time it comes true. I don't need my morals from Donald Trump. I know he's a businessman, probably a crook, all that kind of stuff, and embellishes. But when he tells you something about the world, it turns out to be true. And it is absolutely ridiculous that we sit here and we take it from this Biden crime family. Holy cow. I'll tell you who else. The freaking Huggins family's nuts too. I mean, they are nuts. You got to understand the Huggins family, the Krzyzewski family, the Knight family, all these families of dudes that have been in place at schools for a long, long time. Krzyzewski is no longer the coach at Duke, but he maintains his office in the top tower, the head coach's office at Duke. Why? Because these guys can't give it up. Power corrupts, whether it's the Biden family, the Bush family, you name the family, power freaking corrupts. And in the world of college athletics, these coaches, mostly fat-ass coaches, get themselves a little bit of power, get themselves a little bit of a mountain, get themselves a little bit of a kingdom, and man, the whole family participates. I saw it with the Knight family. Tim Fat, as we disaffectionately called Coach Knight's son, used to take all the gear that went to the players and sell it as his own. We had the feds. We had the Attorney General's office of the state of Indiana walk into our basketball office and say, you, Bob Knight, we're going to charge you with fraud unless you can explain to us how your fat-ass kid, Timmy Knight, wasn't paying off a T-shirt and shoes to hundreds of kids at the basketball camp. Bob Knight did what Huggins is doing. He went from this puffed-up tough guy to a little shrinking weasel when guys in suits came in. Well, the point being, the kids, the families of these quote-unquote power people in college athletics become squatters. They want this lifestyle. They want this. They can't get rid of it. So Huggins' daughter, Jackie, goes off on West Virginia. Now understand, West Virginia paid this fraud for his last 10 years of mediocrity. This guy has never, not one time, won a regular season conference championship, Huggins. Huggins, won one major conference tournament in the Big East years ago. Yeah, he was great at Cincinnati because he cheated his brains out, had strippers in the locker room. Yeah, tremendous. Went to a Final Four. Great. No question. Really good coach, but a fraud. And the whole family loves him. The whole family loves going around Morgantown going, look at us, we're the Huggins. To Gordon Gee and your board, be better. Do better. Throwing stones at glass houses is also not how to represent such a great university. Treating someone like they don't matter after they've been given their whole heart and soul to the university. You could have helped, but chose to turn your back. Now remember, these guys kept Huggins, no matter, even though he has been mediocre for years, they kept him after a homophobic slur. You could have helped, really. You're the classless ones, the cowards, the backstabbers, most of all hypocrites. Remember the $24 million practice facility that was not in any way funded by the university? $7 million for your hospitals for cancer research. I can only pray you never make another mistake like you have in the past to be crucified. Q, Ohio State enrollment down 30%. Mountains of debt. Too much more to list. Do the job you were assigned to do and bring West Virginia back. Then she goes on to say, you know what she says? She goes on to say, guess what? He was just collecting beer cans. He drinks like 90% of us do. Really? I don't think 90% of us drive around their car posting a 0.21 blood alcohol level. I don't know. Cost him his job, his reputation, his life, which he didn't deserve. He told Gordon and the board he would go to rehab for a 60-day stint to be able to stay with these guys. Now, this is where she gets really mad because it hurts the Huggins family. It hurt. I'm used to going to the restaurant and eating for free because I was Huggy's daughter. I'm used to taking pictures in the supermarket, and now I'm sad because he's not going to be the coach. These families don't care. I'll tell you a story. Timmy Knight and Bob Knight haven't spoken in like 5 to 10 years. Why? Because Timmy Knight don't care about his dad. His dad made a comment about Tim being fat. Tim and his wife said something back. Knight walked out because Knight don't care about his kids. These dudes don't care. They don't. The families don't care. Here we go. The guy don't want to play for anyone else. This is where she really gets fired up about being the coach. That's how much he cares. Refused to go on a 60-day stretch. Not even considered. 100%, without a thought. But they want to preach this society of understanding and compassion. I've not passed the bar. No, because you're probably an idiot. But I'm pretty sure there are some stiff laws against this. Really? There are stiff laws against firing a guy who makes homophobic slurs, used to have strippers in his locker room at Cincinnati for the coaches and gets a DUI after he's already agreed to provisions in his contract. Yes, there are laws against it, Jackie. It's called stupid laws, and your father passed the law. He is the dumbest of the dumb. You can't be dumber than Bob Huggins. Once a mountaineer, always a mountaineer, right? Well, yeah, except when you drive drunk and you make homophobic slurs. Listen to this. This is the good one. Next, the beer cans all over the car. That's from the police report, you idiot. You stone cold idiot. I understand a daughter defending her dad, but I also understand somebody that doesn't care about her dad and only cares about him as the coach. The cans were in bags and not all beer cans. Well, probably whiskey. There's a small group in Morgantown who knows my dad collects cans to recycle. So that's what he was doing. Look, we're going to go get hammered. We're going to go get hammered. We're going to drive around, and we're going to go recycling. Can we put that back up, please? The statement? I'm not done. That's what we're going to do. We're going to drive around, and we're going to recycle. We're just going to recycle. That's what I do. That's what I do. My dad is one of the great recyclers of all time. To act like he was driving around pounding beers as the media wants to portray is absolutely absurd. Wait a second. That's in the police report. That's in the police report. That's not the university saying it. That's not the president. That's not the AD. It's in the police report, dumbass. That's the police. That's them saying it. We live in a society, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Hey, how about, look, I'm really glad my dad's done coaching. The stress of him coaching is horrible. He's an alcoholic. I don't know if he is. I don't know if he needs help, but apparently he must think he does because he wanted to do 60 days. You guys are nuts. The whole world is nuts. The whole world is insane. This daughter is more worried about her dad not coaching than she is about her dad. It's all in the freaking police report. This isn't like some media Greg Doyle made up things. This isn't Greg Doyle lying about who he's having affairs with. This is in the police report. So here's what you do. You go to court, you plead not guilty, you tell them, look, you're lying. I didn't blow at .21. That video that they're showing is crap. I knew I was in Pittsburgh, not Columbus. Those beer cans were because ladies and gentlemen, I love collecting beer cans on a Saturday afternoon. So go to court and defend yourself. Hey, I don't mind. Look, the lack of compassion shown in this situation disgusts me. The way it was handled disgusts me. Good, that means it was probably done right. This man would get the shirt off his back to anyone. Well, he had the strippers take their shirts off their back when he was at Cincinnati. He wants West Virginia to be able to get the health care they deserve. He always wanted everyone to feel important and included. He's raw, real, relatable, and will be the first person to have anyone's back he cares about. Most genuine, loyal man I've ever met. He wanted nothing more. Here's where we go. To bring a national championship back to the people of West Virginia, I'll stand by him until the end, no matter what, because he deserves that. Some of you may say I'm biased. Well, we do. But we'll never find anyone else who cares so much about the university, the culture, the guys. Well, let me explain something to you. Yes, they will. They'll find somebody, like when people defend Bob Knight. Nobody cared more about Indiana than Bob Knight or his players. Bullshit. If Bob Knight cared about his players, then he wouldn't have done the stupid stuff that he did after he was told not to do it anymore. If Bob Huggins cared about his players, the guys, the program, the state, then he wouldn't have gone driving drunk after he was already on probation. The lack of compassion. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do here? You're just supposed to say, okay? Hey, Bob, you do whatever the hell you want, man. We understand you got hammered maybe and started dropping homophobic slurs, which have got 95% of us fired. And then a month later, you're out driving around in the afternoon blowing a 2.1 or 0.21. But hey, look, we're all supposed to forgive that because the guy who hasn't won squat in 10 years wants his job. And his little daughter wants her job. Let me tell you what would be best for the Huggins family. Shut up, get your dad into rehab, get your dad straightened out if he needs it. I said it the other day. Maybe Huggins likes driving around drunk. Maybe he likes getting hammered all day. I don't know, but don't tell me how much he loves West Virginia. Don't tell me how much he loves his guys. That's bullshit. He don't love his guys. He loves Huggins. He loves his lifestyle. He loves that. And so does his daughter. And it's complete bullshit to go out there and try to say how much he loves his players. If he loved his players, he'd have got an Uber. If he loved his players, he would have respected the university. Or if he loved the university, he would have respected the university and what they put down and respected the fact that they gave him another chance when he was such a bigoted jackass on Cincinnati radio. I'm done with these idiots. I am done with these idiots. These people are freaking Bob Knight Part 2. How about Knight's family told former players, well, we better not see you at Indiana games after he got fired. Or what? What are you going to do? What, Tim Fat? The biggest coward ever, Patrick Knight's going to get mad? Are you kidding me? Stop it. Just stop it with this crap. This is like, all right, let me morph here. Let me morph here to the Olympics. Let me ask you a question. So the Olympics are coming up. Nobody pays attention to the Olympics, but this is the same thing. Fat ass, arrogant, white, been at their job. Actually, you can include John Thompson in it too. Guys that have been in their jobs too long always ends poorly. Krzyzewski avoided it by somehow getting rid of newspaper articles. It was amazing. What Krzyzewski's able to do is astounding. And by the way, Krzyzewski's in Clinton. I'm not suicidal because I believe Krzyzewski could get rid of you. French authorities raid Paris Olympics. Where have we seen this before? I don't know. I don't know. Drives me nuts. Anyway, Jake Bequette's joining us, and he's a lot smarter than me. He's way smarter than me. But I got to tell you, I've had enough. Huggins and your family, crawl back under the rock, get the hell out of here, get yourself some help, and go the hell away. This guy should be a senator. He should be. Hey, let me ask you a question. You played NFL football for a long time. You played for, people say he's the greatest coach ever, Bill Belichick with the greatest system ever. Deion Sanders is saying that he has too many old school traits to be a NFL head coach. You buying that? What do you think about that particular statement? Come on, guys. I can't hear him.
What about now, Dan? Can you hear me now?
I got you. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that. No, I think it's a really interesting point that Deion made there, and it's a point that I've made privately. The way that NFL coaches are able to treat their players is much different than college coaches are able to coach their players and run their system. Much less high school coaches. I've always said that one of the reasons why Coach Belichick and the Patriots had such an incredible competitive advantage over the years in New England is because just due to Bill's credibility and Tom's leadership from the quarterback position, Bill was able to ride the team and coach the team harder than any other coach in the National Football League. It wasn't even close. I think I've told you stories. We had guys come in from other teams, like longtime veterans who were kind of on their last legs. They would quit the team. They would retire in the middle of training camp. I saw it happen 4 or 5 times. Instead of, completing training camp with the Patriots, they're like, hey, I'm not going to deal with this. This is too tough. I spent too many years in the league with other teams. And you saw it with other Belichick proteges. Some of his former coordinators. You all know who they are. They went on to be head coaches, and they tried to be Bill, and they lost the locker room. You've got to win a Super Bowl like immediately, or else you're going to lose the locker room, and the players are going to turn on you because, as you know, most NFL coaches are not the highest paid guy in the room, not even close. So I think Deion's onto something there. Like there's a way you can coach players in college that you just can't get away with unless you're Bill Belichick and have incredible amounts of credibility in the National Football League. So, I mean, kudos for him. Deion, I mean, I'm not like a big Deion fan, but he does say some things out loud that a lot of people are thinking, and they don't really have the courage to say.
Right. Right, he does, right? And, when I heard that, I thought to myself, it's interesting because in football, I think every coach, maybe not Mike McDonald or some of the newer guys, but most coaches, whether they're position coaches, coordinators, or head coaches, kind of feel like they're old school guys, don't they? Or they want you to believe there's a part of them that are this rough and tumble guy, even though they might not be, but they want you to believe that because that's the nature of football.
No, you're exactly right. And, at least the way the game used to be played, the way the game used to be officiated, it still valued toughness, mental fortitude. I'm not saying the game doesn't do that today, but the teams used to put a premium on being tough, on being hard nosed, on being the types that's just never going to let go of the rope. When the going gets tough, those are some of the values that have traditionally, been present in the greatest football teams. I think it is interesting to see how the game has changed. Some might say evolved, some might say devolved. I mean, even guys like Tom Brady say it's ridiculous the way the game is officiated now. It's almost impossible to play good defense. And so maybe the game is changing, and it doesn't put as much of a premium on raw toughness and physicality and that hard-nosed attitude. So maybe as the game changes, teams can be successful with more modern, some might say softer coaching styles, like some of these new coaches might implement. So it's something to watch. Just the game that I grew up playing and played. I played for an incredibly tough coach at the college level with Bobby Petrino, and then an incredibly tough coach at the professional level in Bill Belichick. I really only know one way to do it. It was very successful. I know there are other ways, but just in my experience, just putting that premium on toughness and physicality. And just pushing the team to their limits physically, mentally, and emotionally, that's what's going to pay dividends at the end of the season.
Hey, when you saw the Hunter Biden deal come down yesterday, and it was a deal, what was your thought?
Well, my thoughts were just like everyone else. I mean, it was a ridiculously lenient deal. It's pretty easy to sit here and shout about the two-tier justice system, about hypocrisy. Everyone knows that if you're paying attention. What I am watching though is if this is the end of the Hunter Biden saga, or if this is a prelude to Joe Biden stepping aside and allowing someone like Gavin Newsom, be the front runner in 2024. Because it would be shocking to me if Joe Biden runs, when his son and close business associate is pleading guilty to multiple charges. But overall, the deal was absolutely ludicrous. I mean, you've got an international money laundering corruption organization that's been taking place for years. I mean, we're talking about corruption at the highest levels of the U.S. government. And this guy is just he's not going to serve a single day in prison. So it's contrast that to the Democrats' ability to entangle the GOP frontrunner for the presidential nomination in 2024, Donald Trump. He's facing multiple indictments. I think there's at least 2 more indictments coming down, one from Washington D.C. and one from Georgia. You've got to be Ray Charles to not be able to see the different standards of justice in this nation.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. That and the fact that all of a sudden, I think bribery is now hidden under the terms of an accounting error. All of a sudden, hey, wait a second, we screwed up. Here's some more money that's going to Ukraine. I swear to God, Jake, maybe I've told you this before. It's the first time in my lifetime I didn't want to pay tax. I just didn't want to pay. I'm like, screw it. I don't want to pay taxes to these idiots. I just don't.
No, it's a great point. And for me, I'm looking for red state governors in these deep red states who are going to be willing to press the issue. You made a great point on the quote accounting error. It's like the old Monopoly game. Bank error in your favor, collect $6.2 billion. But I'm looking for some of these red state governors. Just yesterday, the news came down here in Arkansas. Arkansas overwhelmingly passed a law a couple of years ago that protected underage children from these horrific genital mutilation surgeries, chemical and physical castration. And then a federal judge here in Little Rock, Arkansas, just overturn. He prevented the law from being implemented. That's going to be appealed to the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals. But, really what it comes down to, I mean, we've got to come to a crossroads. I mean, I'm not trying to be too dramatic here, but like we have to have one of these crossroads moments where we kind of figure out who decides. Do 80, 85, 90% of Arkansans who don't want these types of surgeries performed in Arkansas, do the people get to decide what happens in these states? Or does the federal judiciary swoop in and say, actually, no, we call the shots. You actually don't have freedom. You actually don't have self-rule. You're actually not really in charge. And yeah, by the way, we're going to steal half your income every single year to fund these types of projects. So, we've got to make a decision as a people what we're willing to accept. And as we reach the end of our lives, looking back, did we do right by not just ourselves and our children and grandchildren, but do we do right by God and history? That's a question I ask myself every day.
That's a great question. And I'm going to say, I think I would feel much better at 95 if I stood up at 60. I just do. That's one of the reasons I left ESPN. I couldn't envision just talking about basketball when given an opportunity to talk about so much more. And that's, it's just the way it is. For those of you that don't know, Jake is an Army Ranger, former NFL player. So speaking of NFL, you're an alumni of the Patriots. Jack Jones decides he's going to jump all over John Moran about guns, and this idiot all of a sudden shows up. Here's what in the airport, in his backpack, with 2 guns. Now, I don't know what people put in their backpacks, but generally people know the weight of their backpack, and guns aren't exactly the lightest thing when you put them in a backpack. So the level of stupid here, now he pled not guilty. That's going to be hard to prove that he isn't guilty. What do you make of this?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is and look, I don't know Jack. I really have no connection to the guy. I can't speak to his motivations, but I can tell you that this sort of thing happens all the time, especially in places where I come from in Arkansas. People they have firearms, either their everyday carry or some hunting gear. They have it in a bag. They're in a rush to go to the airport. They either grab the wrong bag or forget to empty the bag. And they go through TSA and boom, you get arrested and, you get the mugshot and everything. I'm not sure if that's what happened here, but yeah, I mean, you've got to be, you've got to have some, better situational awareness. You can't let those kind of things happen. But I will say, I mean, there's gun charges, then there's gun charges. I'm not making excuses for the guy, but, I support everyone's right to keep and bear arms, and accidents happen. So if this was just an absent-minded mistake, then it was an absent-minded mistake. If he pled not guilty, he's probably just, that's just probably a negotiating tactic by him and his attorneys. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm not speaking for the guy, but that has been known to happen. Several of my friends have had this exact same thing happen. There, like I said, there's gun charges, then there's gun charges.
No, you're exactly right. I'm a little too harsh on it because it does happen. It happens almost, damn near daily here in Indianapolis, and I don't know that we're gun crazy. I don't know that we're not. I just know that it happens. Hey, Jake, before I let you go, you mentioned Gavin Newsom, and I'm asking most people this that have, most people don't pay enough attention. You obviously do. You mentioned Biden maybe not running. Maybe this is a pathway. You think the Democrats want him involved? Do you think that at whatever age he'll be, with all of the stuff that he does on a daily basis, tripping, falling, can't remember, speaking in tongues, do you think, I don't know, in the next couple of months, the Democrats are going to slowly but surely get their puppet out of here or get him so he's not going to run for re-election?
That wouldn't surprise me at all. I know the Democrats vastly prefer him to Kamala Harris, which is why they want to keep Joe still in position until it's time to transition to the full-time campaigning and election season. They don't want Harris to run because everyone, the poll numbers, she is really despised. I mean, people forget. I mean, she never won a single delegate when she ran for president. back in 2020. She's hated not just by the right, but by the left. So, and the poll numbers reflect that. Joe is kind of seen as this figurehead, as you mentioned. I mean, most people don't pay as close attention to politics as we do. And they still see Joe as just this harmless, sweet old man. They don't really know the truth. But I think Gavin Newsom is probably the most, he would be the Democrats' number one pick if they could just select. He's younger. He's a talented speaker. I'm not sure if you saw the interview he did with Sean Hannity on Fox. I mean, he's talented. I mean, what can you say? He's a talented, smooth talker. And I say that. I mean, I despise him and his policies. He needs to be crushed and defeated. But just speaking as an analyst, I think the Democrats are going to want to run him at the top of the ticket.
I do too. And all of a sudden here he shows up on Hannity, which is, it's like crossing party lines, right? It's almost like once you see that, you think, all right, this is kind of his official entry into the world of presidential politics. It seems like when you do that.
Yeah, and it's a pretty the media has planted a few stories, or he's planted a few stories in the media. If you've been paying attention, there was a story that came out about how Gavin Newsom's wife accidentally killed her older sister when she was a kid. That's what happens when people are preparing to run. They want to get these embarrassing stories out there in the media beforehand, just to kind of detonate the landmine before the candidate steps on it later down the road. So those, if you're paying attention, those are the kind of things that traditionally happen as a prelude to a campaign being announced. So it would not surprise me in the least if Biden ends up stepping down. And you've seen with the strength of RFK Jr. Just one more thing on this. I don't think the Democrats would take a chance that RFK Jr. Might pull a couple of upsets. It could be a true 1968 situation where Lyndon Baines Johnson, LBJ, after a couple of early primary states, he announced to the nation that he was not going to seek re-election in 1968. Then it became a battle between, I think, Hubert Humphrey and RFK Sr., who was then assassinated. What I'm saying is Biden is so unpopular, even within his own party. They see him as a liability that it wouldn't surprise me at all if he steps aside for Newsom.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, and I honest to God, like, if he would win, it just tells me that the Democrats have this thing so rigged, you could run a trained monkey out there and get it done if that guy could win again.
Well, you look at Democrat voters. I mean, they're very forgiving of mentally impaired candidates. I mean, look at John Fetterman in Pennsylvania. I mean, we can't forget about that. I mean, the left, that we on the right, we focus on things like candidate quality, and we people on the right tend to focus more on the issues and policies, in the personalities. On the left, they're just kind of singularly focused on their mission, which is moving the ball further down the field. And so, yeah, I mean, with John Fetterman, I mean, the guy is brain dead. He spent time in mental facilities as he's been in the U.S. Senate. Every time he has a microphone in front of his face, it's a humiliation for the nation. I actually kind of like seeing John Fetterman in the U.S. Senate because just his very presence there seems to destabilize the legitimacy of the institution. So, we'll see. But I wouldn't count on Biden's gaffes being something that brings him down. We tried that in 2020, but the left, their voters are very forgiving of those types of things.
Yeah, but Fetterman makes it seem like anything in this country is possible. And if you think you're the dumbest guy going, you're not, because Fetterman is here to save you. It's unbelievable. It really is. Jake, thanks, my friend. Thanks for coming on. You're always great.
Anytime. Thank you.
Yeah, man, Jake, an Army Ranger. This dude should be a senator or governor or this dude is beyond brilliant. He's beyond a good dude. He is beyond qualified. And we look at all these clowns that are in elections. All right, I got a lot to get to. Apparently, Phil Mickelson, like 8 years ago, showed an inappropriate picture to another player's wife. Oh, my God, the horror. We'll be right back.
Welcome into OutKick the show. I am Clay Travis, your fearless leader. I am going to continue to argue that sports is one of the great unifying forces in all of American life. ESPN is a sinking ship. Democrats are now the party of the white, woke college graduate.
We live in a land of participation trophies.
You gotta lean into the turns. You really gotta lean into the turns.
When Leah Thomas walked in that first day, it got silent, and every girl was uncomfortable.
Very difficult to go back-to-back years in the NFL with the #1 overall pick.
I've been out of LA long enough to have forgotten that libs, no matter how ridiculous the scenario, are gonna lib. Another week of inflation, another week with Biden with COVID, and another set of losers to crown. People don't watch the WNBA on TV, in person, on a plane, on a train, on a bus, or on purpose.
The scary thing, Tommy, is in the history of this government, I've never seen them give anything back that they've taken.
Oh no, they never do.
And they won't.
We've seen coaches throw water bottles. We've seen coaches act like idiots. We've seen coaches slap other coaches. But I think if you're involved in carjacking, you're inherently a rotten human being. The level of stupid that sometimes gets on our YouTube chat just gives me a headache. You're born a male, play with males. You're born a female, play with females. Don't at me about it, people.
I believe this person is the greatest player anybody alive will ever see. How can you hate Derek Jeter? A guy's on-base percentage tells me his batting eye, and a guy's slugging percentage tells me if he's a threat. That's the kind of guy that throws a no-hitter, that effectively wild guy.
You Indianapolis Colts fans, you recognize that Jake Bequette was talking about Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne's full of crap. Reggie Wayne is coaching now with the Colts, and he was dreaming of palm trees during the season last year, and somehow, some way, well, we know why, Reggie Wayne was brought back. Reggie Wayne went with the New England Patriots and lasted about 5 minutes. He did. After being with Chuck Pagano, he lasted 5 minutes, 6 minutes, not very long. And that we knew was going to happen because Reggie Wayne is who Reggie Wayne is. And they had a country club with the Colts, which is why that country club with the Colts, after Tony Dungy left, so many people quit. Reggie Wayne got out. Pagano was such a soft coach that Andrew Luck quit. And you can think Andrew Luck quit because of whatever. He quit because he got injured. He got injured on the side of a mountain snowboarding, and then he and his family hated Pagano. All right, let me see if I got this straight. So the world of basketball and the world of media is saying that Michael Jordan was a bad owner. So Michael Jordan was a bad owner. Nick Wright, I don't know Nick Wright. I don't even know who he is. I think he's on Fox somewhere. I'm sure he's a big personality, but once the show's over, I kind of move along. But people are saying, hey, look, Michael Jordan and his tenure as the owner should affect his drug or his GOAT status as a basketball player. Now, you got to understand something. Guys that never played will never understand. And all of a sudden, Michael Jordan is a bad owner because his team stunk. Oh, okay. I get it. It's never the player's fault, of course. Never the coach's fault, of course. Well, who brought the players? Well, the general manager, the coach. But Michael Jordan should be even more considered the GOAT because he bought the Charlotte Hornets, or whatever the hell they're called, for $275 million. He sold it for close to $3 billion. Now, I got to tell you, I'm sorry, $2 billion, over $2 billion. Now, I got to tell you, in 13 years, that's a hell of an investment. So that enhances his GOAT status. That enhances what he is about as not only the greatest basketball player of all time, but the greatest sports businessman of all time. See, Michael Jordan just doesn't do what Magic Johnson does, is smile and then get himself involved in very small ways. Michael Jordan goes big. Michael Jordan goes really big. And I get that a TV guy has to say his ownership tenure was identical to his playing tenure when Scottie Pippen wasn't his. That's great. The dude went from $275 million to over $2 billion. That's GOAT status, people. Now, there's no way media guy's going to understand it, and I get it. And you do a show every day, and other than me, people have got to get themselves involved in clicks, and I totally get it, and I totally respect it. And I'm sure Nick Wright is a big wheel, and I'm sure he's much better than me, and I'm sure blah, 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 blah. But if you can take a $275 investment and make it over $2,000 on return, that's pretty good. Now just put a ton of zeros in there. It establishes more than anything Michael Jordan's GOAT status. It's really funny to me that people can't wait to take shots at Michael Jordan. Why? Hey, MJ and I are 60 years old and people just take shots at us. They just want to take shots. That's good. That means we, ladies and gentlemen, are the smart. Charles Barkley, myself, and Jordan. That's like the Mount Rushmore of 60-year-olds in the media. No, it is. It is. Me, Jordan. In fact, I'm going to have that put on my. Header of my Twitter account. It's me. Was there 4 on Mount Rushmore? 60-year-olds, Mount Rushmore of media. Mount Rushmore of 60-year-olds. It's me. It's Jordan. It's Barkley. Who else would be in there? I don't know. Feel free on the YouTube chat. Feel free to let me know. But I think I'm onto something here. Yeah, I do. I think I am. Oh, Nick Wright is on Fox Sports Talk Show First Things First. All right. Okay. Well, there you go. Like I said, he's much better than me, but you don't understand the world we live in if you think that 275 to 2-point-something billion is a bad deal. I'm all for you. I don't want to criticize a coworker, and I'm not being critical. I'm just explaining another side of it. But damn. Yesterday, I lost $220 playing golf against the boys from QC Kinetics. I didn't get to turn that into anything. The San Francisco mayor is presiding over a dump. Good Morning America said, hey, this is a dump. They called it dangerous. The San Francisco mayor, let's show all the tweets, is not happy. The mayor fires back. Oh, man, you know why she got elected. Claimed the city's depictions are dangerous and misleading and hurting its residents. No, your own residents are saying it. Lady, why'd she get elected? I'm thinking it's because, well, you know, she's a great leader. Businesses are fleeing San Francisco in droves. Diversity hire mayor. And we don't need fancy analysts and metrics to tell us why. We don't even need to look at the daily videos of crime and shoplifting. We only need to know that San Francisco is a city run by Democrats and a diversity hire, and we know why. That's it. Not hard. It's easy. Look, name me a Democratic city right now that's thriving. Indianapolis is not. Indianapolis is a shithole. Indianapolis is a dump right now. Indianapolis can't murder enough people. Oh, Chicago. Really? All right. We got another tweet up there. Really? Okay. You hear about how bad San Francisco is? I was filming a shot of my father, Shelby Steele, and in 10 minutes, we were gone. Our SUV was broken into, $15,000 in camera. Called 911. They hung up twice. And you guys are going to, not you guys, but people are going to vote Democratic. People just can't stop voting for these idiots because I'll tell you exactly why. Because Democrats give stuff away free and people are lazy. People don't want to work. So Democrats giving you stuff for free, you go out, you sit your fat ass down, you don't have time to go to the DMV. Joe Biden says that most people don't even know how to use the internet in the inner city. That's how racist his dumb ass is. And you get this. I like where I live. I do. But I tell you what, I bought a gun. And I know how to use it. Just saying. That's the world we live in right now. I went and bought a gun. I never thought I would go buy a gun. I never wanted to have a gun around. But you know what? I do. Shannon Sharp is in talks with FanDuel about replacing Pat McAfee. That would be the biggest drop from going from Ryan Grigson and winning divisions and winning records to Chris Ballard, where we worry about crying about white people bad, and losing as the general manager of the Colts. Shannon Sharp's in early talks with FanDuel about replacing Pat McAfee. Sharp left Skip Bayless and Undisputed, may replace McAfee's spot. I got to tell you, never one time in my life, and now again, I'm just a middle-aged white guy, and now that he's gone from Fox, I can say it, that show was unwatchable with him on it. It was just unwatchable. Ill-prepared, showed up late, they said. I mean, just unwatchable. I mean, do your work. And FanDuel getting ready to make a hell of a mistake. A lot of guys have tried to be Pat McAfee. What's that coward's name? Frank Kaminsky. He tried. No chance. Not a chance. So anyway, good luck with that. I am a big tipper. I tip big. I just got a notice again saying, did you tip 50% over at this restaurant last Tuesday night at the District Temp? I'm a big tipper. I am. Look at this. Self-checkout kiosks are asking for tips as the backlash continues to grow against the tipping culture. I got to tell you, there is not a chance in holy hell that I am tipping a kiosk. Zero, zip, nada. Well, I don't care. You're not going to change my mind, and I am not going to change your mind. Here's what happens when I go, ladies and gentlemen, when I go to Old Oakland. They have all these kids, high school kids, that Mike Starrett, who is the owner, hires from Lawrence, different schools, Mount Vernon, Lawrence Central, Lawrence North, all the different schools, to be cart guys and girls. So when you pull up, you got your clubs, they come out in the cart and drive you. I always tip. You should see, when they see my car coming, it's like everybody wants to get old Double D. Why? Because I tip them about $20 for driving me from the parking lot, because I like to give to people. I call them Danny's Acts of Random Kindness. I took it from Shaq. Shaq's Act of Random. I do 3 acts of random kindness a day. I do. And one of them is when I go play golf, and I got a big deal this weekend starting tomorrow afternoon. I tip the living hell, but I ain't tipping a kiosk. You could not pay me to tip a kiosk. You couldn't pay me. Oh my God, can you believe this? Oh my God. Phil Mickelson is accused of showing Pat Perez's wife an offensive picture. Now look at the outfit that Pat Perez's wife is wearing. Do you think anything could offend her? Like, I speak real here, okay? I speak real. You know, women, they don't get as offended as media wants them to be. He showed her an offensive picture. They were the subject of a new afterworld in Ellen Shipnick's biology, or a biography. Phil once showed Pat Perez's wife, Ashley, an offensive picture, which may spurred the feud between the two. Mickelson invited Perez and his wife to dinner. Next thing you know, as Perez went to the bathroom, Mickelson showed Ashley Perez a photograph of himself that she found offensive. Oh. Perez, who I love, by the way, said, it's a matter between us. We handled it. But of course, because Mickelson, middle-aged white guy, wrong side of the media with the whole live thing, because he, ladies and gentlemen, is on the wrong side of the media, guess what? It's a big deal. Dude, if I were Mickelson, I would say what? You got to go back 8 years to find something I did offensive? You could probably find something in the next 2 years. You could probably find something last week that I did that somebody found offensive. Hell, people hit me with it all the time. Hey, you got to go back 9 years? Yesterday, I was peeing outside. Offensive. What are you, nuts? because I've known Phil a long time, the fact that he made this action, not only was it he had intentions of doing it, he knew it was going to happen before he did it. When he did it, I was hurt for one. I was like, how can this guy do this? I love Pat Perez. I do. I'm a big Pat Perez fan. So, you know what? I don't care. Show me all the offense. We all get so offended. You know, guy hit on a girl 10 years ago. Oh, my God. Girl hit on a guy. Oh, my God. I mean, how do you think boys and girls hooked up before websites? You hit on somebody. Jeez. Oh, man. Let me see here. This is happening at Indiana. This is happening at Indiana. Aaron Rodgers is trying to raise $1.5 million for a new business despite earning more than $300 million in the NFL. See, at Indiana basketball, Isaiah Thomas and Mike Woodson, who made more money than anybody in the history of former Indiana players, are trying to get all of us to pitch in to make Bobby Knight's statue at the National Basketball Hall of Fame look better. And I'm like, dudes, you made gazillions. Why don't you just pitch in the money and do something? Why don't you give back? I mean, why, but I get these emails all the time. If you want to give to basically putting flowers on Bob Knight's picture shrine at the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, Mike Woodson and Isaiah Thomas want you to know that that's what we're raising money for. You dudes make gazillions. Isaiah owns a champagne. Are you kidding me? You guys give the money. I guarantee you neither paid their scholarship back like I did. So Aaron Rodgers is doing the same thing. Aaron Rodgers is trying to get $1.5 million. He's made $300 million. You want a business? Pay for your damn business. I don't know what's so hard about it. I honestly don't. Aaron Rodgers wants you to invest. And by the way, I'm going to say this, never do business with former Indiana basketball players, except for Dane Fife. Never, ever. There was all kind of stories with the guys I played golf with yesterday. Never, ever do business with those guys. Because in Indiana, we're all entitled little pains in the prick. Don't do business with former Green Bay quarterbacks. Hasn't Brett Favre taught us anything? Didn't Brett Favre teach you nothing? Don't do business with these guys. You'll end up with the DOJ on your door, and if you are a Republican, you'll end up behind bars. Now, if you're a Democrat, hell, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. So Isaiah, I wish I had the email here. Hey, we're trying to make Bobby Knight's statue look good, just like Dean Smith's. Oh, really? Oh, golly gee. Okay. Your support needed to honor Bob Knight at the Naismith Hall of Fame. All right? Here, you can donate $5,000 or $10,000. Oh, really? Signed, Mike Woodson and Isaiah Thomas. Oh, wow. As a reminder, the Coaches Circle program is designed to honor and commemorate the most important coaching figures in the history of our sport by an interior display and an exterior display. Other legendary coaches, Mike Krzyzewski, Pat Summitt, Denny Crum, Tom Izzo, Dr. Naismith, Roy Williams. We can give $5,000 to $10,000 to make Bob Knight's gravesite look good. Sincerely, Isaiah made gazillions, and Mike Woodson made gazillions and is still making gazillions, coming in third at Indiana. Yeah, let's do it. Come on. Charlie joins us next. We're just going to get raucous. Let's go.
I just think the way Anthony Bass handled this was so sloppy.
Oh, I think it's perfect.
And what he reposted,
he bent the knee and bowed. He was going to catch the ceremonial first pitch. And after that was announced, then they assigned him to the minors.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. He should have never done that. Don't apologize. Don't bend the knee.
Well, but then it would just be sloppy. He'd be sent down anyway.
But it's not.
But after doing that, he had the general manager on the record saying he would not be disciplined and that he was apologetic and accountable.
Look, if you're going to put that,
and then a guy came after 60-day DL.
If it's demonic and evil to market that way. That's
Right.
very different. Go back and read what Trevor Williams and Clayton Kershaw said. That's where the big difference lies to begin with. Very different speech from those guys. Anthony Bass also, if he truly believes it's demonic and evil, then stand by it. Because the moment you apologized, you open yourself up to the booze you got the next night. That happened. If you believe this firmly in it, you ended up cut anyways. So instead of looking like a huge jerk and having to go out and catch the pitch on Pride Night and be forced to apologize and stumble through an apology while saying, I fully believe in the post, but I also see I could be seen as hateful, so I apologize for that, but I don't apologize for this. Oh, by the way, Anthony, you're cut. Get your ass to AAA. He could have cut all that out and said, no, I stand by what I said. I'm entitled to my rights and my opinions, just like anyone else who has an opinion on the other side. He could have gotten cut the same way, but we could have skipped all this stuff.
Well,
meanwhile, Trevor Williams and Clayton Kershaw handled it in a much smarter way than he did, and I think they were much more effective in making their point than Anthony Bass.
Oh, man. Hunter Biden all in the news. Look, I have one friend. I can't hang with them. My brother told me, don't try to compete. I'm not going to say the guy's name. Don't try to drink with him and his wife. Don't try to hang with him because they'll crush you. And one time I tried on the golf course, and next thing you know, I'm Ubering home going, where the hell are my clubs in my car? That's Hunter Biden, Charlie. Don't try to party with Hunter Biden. He goes too hard.
Yeah. Hunter Biden takes it to the next level in many different ways. So, I would say that's probably smart if you'd like to, keep your marriage together, your job, your self-respect, your dignity. I think you're onto something.
Yeah, all those things come into play because we got blow, we got hookers, we got guns, and apparently we don't pay taxes, and all that combined. What a sweetheart deal this guy got, Charlie.
Oh my gosh, in one day, think about it. You are dealing with like all this nonsense for years, 5+ years, and suddenly in one day it just all disappears. You get off on all the federal charges, you find out you don't have to go to jail, you get to slash your child support payments by 75%, only paying $5,000 a month, which is laughable considering the lifestyle this guy lives. And we are very well aware of the lifestyle he lives. And then what's the last one? Oh, his kid that he already had disowned. You're like, oh, and you don't get to take my last name anymore. And I don't have to worry about you anymore. Now you're actually officially disowned. And, as far as the stockings at Christmas time, grandma and grandpa, like you're just not even in the realm of thought anymore. So it's just... Only if you're a Biden does this happen, especially like when you are a known like tax evading, crack smoking, like you nuisance.
I'll finish it for
in
you.
so many instances of the word.
I'll finish it for you. Hooker impregnating, crack smoking, sister-in-law screwing, tax evading,
illegally gun obtaining.
In this. What?
Illegally gun obtaining.
Yes.
Yeah, the list goes on. But if you're Biden, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. And not only do you have support of the entire presidential administration, but also the Department of Justice. It's a pretty sweet deal, if you ask me. Like, I think Hunter Biden should try to take it a little further because I don't think he's even scratched the surface of what he's capable of getting away with.
There is a lady, her name is Emma Jo Morris. And if you know who Emma Jo Morris is, she worked for the Washington Post. She has in her apartment Hunter Biden's hard drive. It was given her. The Department of Justice has never asked for it. And I asked her on our show, what's in it? She goes, a bunch of felonies, a bunch of naked pictures, and a bunch of porn. There you go. Right there.
Wow. I mean, it's It's just pretty insane.
You're shocked.
But you know what? This, we talked about this in the break. There's just so many things going on in the world that just to say them out loud or think about them and let the chain of events run through your head, it just seems like we're living in some type of movie or this isn't real life, but it is real life. This is the president of the United States' son. And a man who he is very closely involved business-wise with. And we have just found out so many crazy, taking $5+ million of bribes, at least, the both of them, the two of them together. He sits on the board of a Ukrainian energy company. It's just so bizarre to think about that you just kind of have to sit back and laugh and appreciate the madness that we're living in right now.
A friend of mine, she texted me. She was watching the show with her husband, and she texted me after a show. She goes, just think about the things you're talking about. What is a woman? Whether a guy is a woman. Bud Light deciding that, hey, look, we want to get away from our core, and now, frankly, the number one brand in the world is going down, and apparently they've got everybody, and I mean everybody, including gay bars in Minnesota and the LGBTQBAFGHIJKLMNOC party mad at. Everybody's mad at Bud Light. Is Bud Light 10 years from now, Charlie? 10 years, 5 years. Where's Bud Light? Back on top or no?
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say that I can appreciate the fact that everybody's turning on Bud Light. It's not even the people that are oh, we can't believe you did this campaign. It's the people that are oh, we love that you did this campaign, but then walked it back where now you're not supporting Dylan Mulvaney. It's everybody hates Bud Light, which is it's another thing. It's just kind of you just got to appreciate it for what it is. Bud Light in 10 years. I mean, 10 years is so far off that it's tough to really say what the long-term future holds. The short-term future does not look good, especially because Bud Light has done nothing to help themselves. It's just such an obvious course that they should take. They need to address what they did. They need to apologize and say that it's not going to happen again. And I think a lot of people, listen, we all realize that short-term memories are it's just a thing. We've got the attention spans of goldfish in this country, which is very short if you have not heard. But if they were to just admit it and address it, I think a lot of people would be very gracious in, allowing Bud Light to enter back into their households. And maybe Bud Light could offer some type of incentive, buy one, get one free, no matter where you are. Just, I don't know. If they were to do that, I think Bud Light could rebound in a tasteful manner. But the fact that they just are trying to push it under the rug, people don't like to be made to feel stupid or manipulated. And that's the problem here. But I have to believe that if things continue in this direction for such a long time, and we're talking 10 years at this point, that they have to do something to address what they've done. So listen, I also have maybe too much faith in a lot of people. There's maybe a good chance that it is the end of Bud Light, but it's funny. I think there must have been for a maybe some type of spoof of some sort, because there was just Bud Light in the refrigerator here at work. So I was interested. Yeah. But isn't that funny that that's what comes to mind? It's not, oh, there's people here that want to have Bud Light. It's oh, this is part of a spoof.
That's when you have a serious problem as a brand, when you become a punchline.
Exactly.
Hey, well, I will say this also. If I'm Bud Light and I'm weighing it from a business perspective, all right, gay bar, LGBT community mad at me, or the rest of the world mad at me, I got to tell you, from a business perspective where my job is to sell beer, I ain't worried about one, and I'm really worried about the other.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you got to worry about the mass consumers, and that is, the traditional Bud Light consumer base, which is, middle America, just very traditional people who, are wanting to relax, come home from work, kick up their feet, open up a beer, go to a sporting event, have a couple beers, more than a couple. Bud Light was closely tied with, I feel like, the idea of sports in general. So yes, that is who they should be worried about. The gay bar is the least of their concerns, but it's just funny that every single group is now turning on Bud Light for whatever the reason may be. So Bud Light has found themselves in a very precarious position. And additionally, I just, I can't get behind the gay bars rationalization. Is that the word? That word always screws me up. Rationalizing. This whole idea of trans and queer being a part of a marginalized community. I'm like, are you serious? You get a whole freaking month. You get Pride Month. I mean, we just have been celebrating this group for now 21 days, and they still have 9 days to go. I mean, every other group in America gets 1 day a year. Like, that's just how it goes. And they're thankful for that 1 day. I mean, it's not it's quality over quantity, if you will, right? At least you're being recognized. That means something. But this group, it's not quality over quantity. They want everything. And once they feel like they've, put their claws in everything, it's still not enough. So the whole idea of the LGBTQ community at this point being marginalized is laughable.
Oh, it's absolutely laughable right now.
And let me tell you, the Pride Parade is this Sunday in New York. Guess who will not be in New York this Sunday?
Yeah, if anybody goes to the Pride Parade, take pictures of the naked, hairy-backed men riding on bicycles and acting like idiots in front of children, will you please? Because that is always, well, it's a highlight in Indianapolis. I don't know if it's a highlight, there. Shocker, shocker. Colin Kaepernick is writing a book where America is racist, and he lets the Marxist/communist ideology inside and do the edited. I am stunned by this development.
Are you?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Colin Kaepernick.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know. My thoughts are it's Colin Kaepernick. What's sad about all this is I actually really liked Colin Kaepernick. Like, I was cheering for him for a good amount of time. I mean, not even like so long ago, even after he pulled the, kneeling for the anthem shenanigans. Like, even after that, sorry, my hair is this lighting, Dan, as a woman, I'm offended by fluorescent.
Like your hair.
So, I just feel like, everyone is entitled to, have a learning curve and go through some type of growth period. And I felt like for a certain period of time, I felt like, what? Maybe we shouldn't judge him for kneeling for the anthem. Maybe that's a period of his life that he in his mind perhaps regrets. And maybe we should be a bit graceful in allowing him to pursue his career because he's a very talented player. At least that's how I remembered him. And so there was a point in time when I was rooting for teams to give him a shot. Let's see what he can do. And he just keeps proving time and time again that he really has no real serious intentions when it comes to football. This is all just a political play for him. And in this, headline that we just found out, as far as his book goes, it's just one more thing to put him in the box where it's just hard to like a guy like this. It's like looking for every excuse you can to use the race card. And it's just getting so old. And I don't know. I think, he uses, white supremacy is not just rooted in racism, but also capitalism. And it's like, okay, so like, if you have the opportunity to be successful, it's considered white supremacy. I don't know. There's just so many things wrong with these arguments. And I think a lot of people are starting to recognize that. And it actually gives me a little bit of hope because even just 2 days ago, I posted the John Morant reaction video. And I made a couple comments in there that weren't meant to be racist by any means. And most people, I was shocked, actually agreed with me. I mean, a lot of people and all different types of people. So I was like, okay, this is good. We're able to have open and honest conversations where the race card isn't just whipped out automatically. But then there were those few people who said, oh, well, you referred to him as, a wannabe gangster and all that. And I said to myself, I don't care if he was a white man. If, you're flashing a gun while listening to rap music in a car, I would consider you to be wanting to be a gangster. So I think a lot more people are recognizing the nonsense that comes along with these, racial type plays that we're seeing Colin Kaepernick once again involve himself in. But I don't know. I have no interest in Colin Kaepernick playing football anymore, nor do I have any interest in him as a person anymore. And I surely will not be reading his book, regardless of who he had writing it.
I know you got to go host. That's awesome stuff. When you officially start your show, you'll be called a racist. You can't be hard to call you a misogynist, but you'll be some kind of
no. They'll find a way. They'll find a way, Dan.
With an ick. Oh, yeah.
They'll find a way.
Off she goes, misogynist, racist, homophobe, everything else. Just get it all out there right now. The great Charlie
Exactly.
Arnold. Look forward to seeing you.
I hope is there's no fluorescent lighting when the show actually takes place, because listen, to all the women out there who are listening or watching, I know you get me. It is not our friend, and probably men out there too.
Let me tell you something. I've always said the less light, the better I look.
Same.
That's it. Less light, less seeing, the better I look. Thanks, Charlie. Have a great day.
See you later. Bye.
That's true. I'm telling you, I look good in the dark when you can't see me. If you can't see this mess, man, Dan, you look good. Party outside, low lighting. Boy, Dan, you look really, really handsome. I know. I know. I do. I less lighting, more handsome, double D. Look, let's be honest. I'm with Charlie. I've had enough Kaepernick, and you can call me any names you want. I'm sure, look, the Indy Star needs an article this summer. My boy Greg Doyle and Dana Bimbao, Hunziker, whatever her name is, they need to win awards. So, ladies and gentlemen, there will be an article, and I'm guessing it's going to call me racist, I would think. I would hope anyway that's, it's the only way they get any attention. So, hey, look, I'm with Charlie. You know what you're going to be called. All right. What the hell Wednesday? What's going on here? Let's see some videos. Yeah, you can get this swag, email, but you're going to have to pay because I'm putting the money towards Dakich Cycles for the city. And when I mail it out, it's like $15 to mail it. Man, I had a big night last night. Taking a parlay, so maybe I'll mail some today. I don't know. But we got What the Hell Wednesday. Let's go. What we got here? Don't we have What the Hell Wednesday? It says What the Hell Wednesday. It says What the Hell Wednesday. Wait, I got to see that again. Well, you're an idiot. Hey, that kid could do 7,622 pull-ups and he's still going to look like that. Let me see that kid again. Why you got to go with the tongue out? Let me ask you a question. I got a simple question for you. Why do white people go like this? Or why do black people? Why does anybody... And then why do girls go... I'm getting on the YouTube chat. I got to get that explained to me. White boys with the tongue out, is that like a Gene Simmons thing? Is that a Kiss thing? Is that an homage to the Kiss Army? And I love the deuces. Like, if you ever see me flashing deuces on a screen or in a picture, understand I have no idea what it means. No, seriously. Understand, I literally have zero idea what it means. I don't know what deuces mean. I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means. I don't know what any of it means. I don't know what the word surreal means. Pat Forty, in an article on me back in 07, 08, when I became the head coach at Indiana, I think it was 40, wrote that I was quoted as saying, man, it was surreal. I don't even know what the word means. So I've always thought to myself, it's surreal? What does that mean? What is surreal? I don't know. The hell do I know? So I don't know what surreal means. I don't know what deuces means. Deuces, man. What? What is it? The peace sign, I know. Thumbs up, I know. I don't know. I'm just asking. Next. I don't. Look at this guy. Deuces, baby. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah. Deuces. Because I'm a hip cat white boy. I'm a CWB, baby. A cool white boy. That's what I've always been called my whole life. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, this will end well. Guy walking on the beach. What a show that is. Wow. Anybody know what that tank is? The hell is that thing? Holy cow. I'm not going to lie. I would probably do that. I'm not going to lie. Serbian brother, Ruel, I'm not going to lie. This guy, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this tank is. This guy's lucky to be alive. He almost got his head blown off, but I would have done that. I like to burn golf balls. I like to burn stuff when I was a kid. I wasn't one of those psychopaths burner guys. But if somebody said, hey, and I like to deal with sticks. I got kicked out of my fraternity because after we beat Kentucky at home my sophomore year, I threw a 2x4 through the window at our fraternity right between the heads of my suite mate who I didn't like and his girlfriend who I didn't like. I'm not saying I'm a good guy. I'm just saying these are the stories of my life, and I should be able to tell them. But watch his head, right there. Dude almost got, I bet he got some hair singed. Man, that's a pretty good one, fellas. All right, what's the next one? Crazy Clips Only is the source, and look at that idiot. Oh, my God.
Bang! Ah! Ah! Dude, are you kidding? You're fucking kidding me? That was you. Grab the fucking tongs. Where's the tongs at?
What's the dad mad about? The dad's all mad. I get it. Dads get mad at their kids. But what's the dad mad about? Ha! And the kid just knocked his dad on his ass. That's what the dad should be mad about. This little scrawny kid knocked you right on your ass. Look at this. Ha! Whoa. Hey. And he gives him a kick. And the kid reaches. Watch the kid's left hand here. Hey, are you effing kidding me? What? You're the dummy. You tried to mess with Pops, or Pops, you tried to mess with your kid, and you were obviously ill-equipped, and now you're yelling at the kid. You gave the kid a kick, and he grabbed your leg. Ain't the kid's fault. You got no balance. You got no athletic ability. I go back to Wyndham Clark. What did his caddy say? Be an athlete. Be an athlete, Dad. Seriously, be a freaking athlete. I'm just saying, be an athlete. Sweep the leg. What else we got? The YouTube chat is just pumping. Hey, hit the like button, will you? Thank you. And, of course, subscribe. All right, let's see what's next. Man, you can't even lie to your wife there because it's on a security camera. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What the hell are we doing here? Taking a little bath? What are we doing? What's going on? Couple people standing to the right. This lady's just enjoying a little bath. Is she going to go to the pits? Is she going to go to the armpits? What is she doing, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. Oh, that's a water tank? All right, what are you going to do now, honey? What's going on, baby? Oh, my God. That's popcorn butter from a movie theater to the face. What is she, Kramer on the roof? Oh, thanks for that, Nick. Holy hell. See, I'll give Charlie credit. She believes in the goodness of people. I believe people are nuts. I believe in the goodness of people to be nuts. That's what I believe. Hey, let's do this. Let's go and rub popcorn butter all over my face. Kramer went up to the roof and worked out or laid out with butter, and he turned into a turkey. What's that smell? Kramer. If I were those girls on the right, I'd be like, hey, lady, let me get you some help. Let's go into the Bob Huggins Treatment Center. Him for alcohol, you for being insane. What else we got on a What the Hell Wednesday? I love Wednesdays. I love Tuesdays. I love Wednesdays. Oh, yeah. Oh, down. Are you all right, man? Are you okay? God, subways could be involved. Let's see that entry again. Boom! At least he fell forward. At least he fell in. That was the best possible result. Go, boy. Oh, hey, you all right, man? And then he collapsed again. You know how many different ways that could have gone bad? He could have got something stuck. He could have knocked back his foot, whatever. But he ended up where he wanted to go. He just had to pay a little price. Not mad about it. The hell? I think we got one more, don't we? Or is that all 5? Man, I like this stuff. I do. I swear. I'm sorry, but I do. I think this stuff is awesome. And you could have what the hell every day is what you really could have. All right, that was all of them. You could have literally what the hell every single day. Hey, the subway's nuts, huh? Like, people are completely out of their minds. Hey, you know how I always tell you, be careful of crazy, don't date crazy. Remember how I told you way, way back when Ricky Fowler was dating Crazy, and now apparently Ricky Fowler got rid of Crazy, got him a solid wife, and now cut his hair, because he used to have the mullet about a year ago when he was an alternate at the U.S. Open. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Ricky Fowler is a human being. He's an adult. He's not a little kid trying to play Puma guy. He's not a little kid trying to play golfer cool guy. He's an adult. Well, guess what? We got another adult look, an adult alert. I'll tell you what that's about when we come back, but you're gonna have to follow me here. Athletes need to be adults. This one involves porn, revenge porn, a big fat guy, and a big fat girl. It's good stuff when we come back.
What were the executives thinking when they were doing this? And then, of course, after the fact, we had a video surface of a marketing executive saying that Bud Light wanted to move away from the fratty appearance of just college kids and men. And I mean, that almost made it worse. When you're behind closed doors, when you're talking to plant managers, when you're having meetings, when you're with the team, was there an acknowledgement of any of this, an acknowledgement of the situation, the boycott, and then the doubling down about moving away from the fratty image? What were those conversations like when all this started to kick off?
So everybody was upset, including management. So every brewery has a plant manager that answers to corporate. And there seems to be a separation there because what corporate's doing is not reflective of what even the plant managers want. And they themselves, we would have these meetings and nobody's happy about it. Everybody thinks it was a very bad idea, obviously. And, you know, the sales and everything shows that. So, I mean, they expressed the fact that they were shocked. Why would they do this? What were they thinking? Especially now, this is the worst. It's like the worst timing yet the best timing if a company were to try to change the way it operates from a corporate level. So that's just my opinion, and many of us are talking about that, like they planned it in a way, like a strategic destruction of Bud Light.
Okay, let's get into that because that's very interesting to me to hear. Now, we know that Anheuser-Busch has been bought by InBev, which owns a lot of brands, a lot of companies, has a lot under the umbrella. And that's when things kind of started to shift in a little bit more woke way. But you're telling me that you think that Bud Light knew this Dylan Mulvaney partnership was going to be a disaster, watched it become a disaster, and then almost sat back and let it happen?
When I had a show, we used to have Tuesdays, we'd call it Biggins, where we would celebrate being big and fat. We'd have big fat people, and myself included, call in, tell us how big and fat you are, and next thing you know, you had to answer a trivia question, and you'd get a prize. You'd get a T-shirt, and people started sending me their business T-shirts, but they had to be triple extra above, because don't tell me at 6'5", 195 pounds you're a biggin. You got to be big and fat. And people got offended. Well, you're making fun. No, we're celebrating. We're making it okay for me to be 6'5", 250 pounds when I should be 6'5", 210 pounds. Well, Zion Williamson redefines biggin. Zion Williamson has been big and fat since the moment he left Duke. Zion Williamson apparently likes the ladies big and fat. A lot of junk in the trunk. Zion Williamson's baby mama drama is something I can't get enough of. I love the inherent stupidity of athletes. I think it's awesome. So Zion Williamson, to recap, Zion Williamson was dating a little hooker, porn star, whatever she is, OnlyFans, I don't know, named Mariah Mills, and she thought they had something going. About a week or so ago, Zion Williamson did a reveal party with another girl, another baby mama, because Zion Williamson apparently just throws that thing around, and women are willing to take it. And the lucky ones, apparently, by what I've read, have babies and they make a ton of money off Zion Williamson. It's a big scam. If you don't believe it, look at Andrew Bogut's tweet. Well, Zion's baby mama drama, not the baby mama, but the woman who wanted to be the baby mama drama, the hooker I don't think she's a hooker, the OnlyFans / porn star, she's pissed. Her name is Mariah Mills. And she's 3 axe handles wide in the ass and in the mouth. And I mean, she ain't messing around. So she then decides it's a good thing. She has sex tape with Zion Williamson. Now, I got to tell you, watching two biggins slapping bellies ain't my thing. Like, good for her. And I'm sure there is a crowd that loves it. I'm sure there are a lot of guys of all races, ages, sexual orientations that are going to get the Jergens, the moist towel, find a nice dark room, and turn on Zion and old Biggin sex tape. But it's illegal to do it. And so old Mariah Mills, she got her account deactivated because, well, frankly, revenge porn is illegal in most states. So good for Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson lives to see another day. Zion Williamson doesn't have to deal with some scorned bigot that's mad. Release the sex tape and then go away. It's like Ron Felling in Indiana. Release your little Bobby Knight tape and then go away. He claims he didn't do it. I'll believe him, but he's the only guy I knew that had that tape. So release it and go away. That's all. So release your sex tape and then go away. I can see a lot of you guys right now going, oh, she's so hot. You guys are just ridiculous. Anyway, so Zion's baby mama drama. Zion doesn't hang with his teammates. Zion's just a guy that likes to sit around, eat cheeseburgers, hang out, and get with the fatties. Good for him, man. You can't begrudge a guy that. All right, a lot of you are wondering, what is this Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light? A lot of you are asking me, what's going on? No, Zion getting ready to eat. We judge people by the content of their character, who they're stooping, and how much they weigh, not, ladies and gentlemen, by the color of their skin. Disclaimer. Anyway, just for, I don't know, we should probably play this every day. When you hire diversity, you sometimes get a great hire. But like the Biden administration, sometimes you get ridiculous hires. Bud Light decided, Anheuser-Busch decided, we're going to make a woman that apparently sides big time with the LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P crowd, and not their core fan base. This woman has taken down Bud Light. And this is basically the interview that did it. Let's have a little refresher course.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do.
I'm a businesswoman.
When I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like, we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
Out of touch. There is this idiot's in touch person. There it is. Right there. Okay. So this is what this lady, this Harvard businesswoman, decided is in touch. That. Right there. Now let me ask you a question. Who is this in touch with? 1.0% of the population? 0.000% of the population? Absolutely freaking nobody? So you know the story. Billions of dollars has been lost in market cap, stock market price, and of course in sales, to the point where Anheuser-Busch is now enticing distributors by paying them back. It's the dumbest marketing campaign ever. This woman, look at this. This was what brought Bud Light down. I don't know what this is. I'm not getting into all the terms, but this is what did it with an idiot diversity hire. Look, if she's the best person to hire, God bless you, then the hiring market isn't very strong. But going out and insulting your fan base and thinking we need to grow with this, God bless you. You reap what you sow, you get what you deserve, and you know my motto. You know what one of my mottos is? Be careful what you wish for. Look, put hot women in bikinis and sell beer. If that's sexist, I don't know what to tell you. I look at it as hot women get jobs. Boom. Or put this. I'll put this on there. This couldn't sell. This couldn't lead blind turkeys to take a dump. This right here. Whatever this is. You're homophobic. Now, this doesn't even know what this is. Sometimes I'm a boy. Sometimes I'm a girl. Sometimes I'm trans. Shut up. Just sell beer. Hey, ballparks. Just let us watch games. You know what they got at Kansas City? Halter top night. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And let me tell you who will love it. Women. You guys act like women are prudes. Women are out there shaking the moneymaker. Olivia Dunn showed up at the LSU game.
He wanted to go off on her again. I don't know why.
Anyway, that's where we're at. Pat Riley, he's a genius. I'm not. All right? I'm not. I don't know. Pat Riley says Tyler Hero is an anchor of the Heat's franchise. Now, let me explain what an anchor does. An anchor either stabilizes you or drags you down. So with Tyler Hero, the Miami Heat were an 8th seed. So Tyler Hero, along with Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, are the anchor, and they want to build around him. Why? When Tyler Hero went out, they become the 1 seed in the East. Funny how that works. Tyler Hero is one of, if not the only guy, that frankly is a me guy in that organization. They got Hero out. They brought in Duncan Robinson. Next thing you know, Jimmy Butler got going, Adebayo got going, Lowry got going, Gabe Vincent got going. It amazes me. Look, I understand that you have to kiss the ass of a player that scores 20. Nobody understands that more than me. But I got to tell you, if Tyler Hero is your anchor, he is one dragging you down. Mark my words. Don't at me about it. I don't want to hear it. No. No, 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 no. No. The headband, the Cooper Cup, look at me, blah, 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 blah. It is what it is, fellas. Speaking to you Indiana fans, I had a very prominent member of the Indiana basketball staff refer to Miller Cup as that idiot Miller Cup wearing a headband during the NCAA tournament. Look, if you know, you know. Anyway, I digress. I know he's a vibe. Just like this guy's a vibe. Hey, did you see this? Did you see that Tyreek Hill got a little handsy on a boat? All right. Tyreek Hill, who stays in trouble, who has a big mouth, apparently not with a woman, but apparently he grabbed some kind of deckhand on a boat. I tell you this all the time. It's always the same people. So now there is a police investigation. Of course, Tyreek Hill was kicked out of college for punching his pregnant girlfriend. But yes, Tyreek Hill struck a marina employee allegedly. So Tyreek Hill is under police investigation. Why am I not shocked? Hill got into some kind of disagreement with an employee of one of the charter companies based in Haulover Bay. The disagreement ended with Hill allegedly striking the employee. The employee said the victim does not want to press charges at this time. Now, whether or not there's a criminal investigation, who knows? But it's always the same idiots. You can say whatever you'd like to me, but it's always the same dumbasses, period. Close your eyes. Who are we going to hear from? Pac-Man Jones, Tyreek Hill. In baseball, I've told you this before, Steve Howe. Steve Howe. In the world of team sports, the Olympic Committee is investigated in Paris. Oh, you mean like the one in China, like the one in the United States, like the one in Russia, like the one in name a country. They're all investigated. There are certain people and there are certain organizations that are always going to be investigated. They're always going to do stupid stuff. French authorities raid Paris Olympic organizer's office as part of a corruption probe. Oh my God, say it isn't so. Name me the last time we had an Olympics where they did not give the Olympics, the host city, a probe into their finances. Say it ain't so. Wait, hold on. Bribery, check. Old white guys making a lot of money, check. Oh my God, I am stunned by this. I can't believe it is to be true. And if you want to read something really good about this, our friend Dan Wetzel had an absolute dynamite column. Another day, another Olympic scandal. 2016, the water in Rio de Janeiro turned green. Why did Rio de Janeiro have the Olympics? Paid off people. Tyreek Hill. Back in the day, Steve Hogg, I'll put a white guy in there. Olympic Committee. Who else? Pac-Man Jones. Who else? Always going to be in the news for stupid stuff. And I got to tell you, I ain't even mad about it. You guys can be mad about it, but I ain't mad about it. Not even a little bit. Not even sort of. Hey, how about this? A captain of a fishing boat. We got scandals in fishing. Captain of a fishing boat disqualified for mutated marlin. He says the wind was taken away from him. Like this fish is as big as me, if not bigger. The captain of sensation, the fishing boat that lost out on over $3 million in earnings when tournament officials disqualified its 619.4 blue marlin due to mutilation. They believe they won the tournament fair and square. This isn't like those knuckleheads in Ohio that put weights in the vajayjay of Chinook or whatever you call them that you're fishing for I can't remember, but everybody went fishing for. It's not bluegill. It's not, what the hell is it in Ohio? I can't remember. Look at the size of this fish. Hell, it's 3 times the size of me. What am I talking about? What the hell's the name of the fish, Sean Black, that you fish for? Mackerel? It's not mackerel. Muskie? It's not muskie. I forget. But anyway, these guys here, because they found a mutated fish. That's walleye. It's walleye. Thank you, Nick. Yes, it's walleye. Man, and walleye is pretty good. Side note, if you're ever looking for a good meal in Northwest Indiana, go to Teeble's, serious business, and get the perch. It's all you can eat. It is like $1,000. No, but it's expensive, like $30, but it's really good. Do you know what BMI is? Body mass index. It's basically how fat you are. So you're fat, and I ain't down with that. But you're fat, you get your body mass index tested, and guess what? That too is racist, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. How fat you are is racist. Yep, that's what we're saying now. Because let's be honest, there isn't anything in America that isn't racist, except for me. According to the American Medical Association, body fat, the test of body fat, the thought of body fat is stone racist, body mass. Well, you know what? I don't care. You can't call everything racist and have me care. Seriously. You may think this is a joke, but this is not a joke. Let me exercising, racist. Body mass, racist. Eating a hamburger, racist. Everything is racist. All right. Body mass index is a measurement that uses height and weight to determine obesity and a slew of health issues that come with being overweight. It's not a perfect tool since it doesn't consider genetics, muscle mass, and other individual factors. The American Medical Association, which is the largest association of doctors in the United States, says the metrics has been used for racist exclusion and fails to consider differences in body composition. Our AMA recognized the issue when using body mass index as a measurement because, one, the eugenetics behind the history of body mass, the use of BMI for racial exclusion, and BMI cutoffs are based on the imagined ideal Caucasian and does not consider a person's gender or ethnicity. I knew that. This guy, he's being discriminated against. He doesn't really look like that. He's a healthy guy. Lizzo's fat ass, healthy. The Daily Mail celebrated her curves. Yeah, that's right. Her curves. Look, call it whatever you want. How about don't be a fat ass? They're dropping BMI because they want to change the conversation around weight and start prescribing medicine for weight loss. Shocking. Shocking that, I don't know, a group of doctors want to give more prescription, or wait, what? Wait, hold on. This is the other way. They're encouraging diet and exercise. Wow. All right. Telling people to be accountable and responsible is so last century. Let's be honest. We don't do that anymore. We don't do that. What we do is say, it's okay. You're a fat ass. You have all kind of health problems. You're costing our country billions because you're not in shape. And next thing you know, that's healthy because there is no accountability in our country. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I gained back a couple of the pounds over the last couple of days and I can feel it. I can. Look, if you're fat, your knees hurt. If you're fat, your legs hurt. If you're fat, you just don't feel as well. My brother-in-law, Donnie, just lost a ton of weight. He is doing better than me. He is kicking Dupai out. She's down 17 pounds. I asked him the other day, how you feeling? I feel great. My legs don't hurt as much. So you all can sit there and tell me that being fat is okay, and I'm never going to buy it. Never. You can write tweets about it. You can get mad. You can call me an ish. You can call me an obic. You can call me a racist. You can call me anything you want. But being fat is no good. If I were 210 pounds, I would be much healthier. Instead, I'm 245. That ain't good. I need to get down. Just stop it, stupid. I don't want to hear it. There you go. If you're a fat bastard, get unfat. Get out. Eat a vegetable once in a while and run. Walk. What can I tell you? That's sound advice from Double D. All right, look at the titties on that. Come on, people, put a shirt on. Come on. How this isn't the most popular show in America on a daily global basis, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Period. All right. I can't look at that. I'm putting my hand up. Let's go to Woke-A-Dope. Who's doping? Who's woken? Who's an idiot? Who's doing what today? Look at that hairy man. Look, how about, that'd be like, I want to ask one of Doyle's girlfriends, why did you let that thing bounce around on top of you? Got to ask the writer from the ESPN that he's lied about, the Married with Two Kids writer. Why would you let that bounce around on top of you or from behind you? What are you thinking? Anyway, Wokey Dopey, we got 3 of them. Let me see the first, por favor. Oh, boy. Yeah, how about that? How about that, man? 3,659 stories in CNN about George Floyd. How about that? Is that unbelievable? That is unbelievable. Zero about the lady being murdered with her baby in Seattle. George Floyd was a fentanyl-using criminal that abused women. I mean, let's just be honest. Yeah, the cops should have been, they went overboard on George Floyd, but this lady was just a young mother that had a child. Got murdered, hate crime, and not one word on CNN. You think the media isn't biased? You think? I don't know why anybody even watches CNN anymore. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't even know why you turn it on. I don't know why you turn on any biased media. That's why you turn on here, because we'll crush all souls. We judge people by the content of their character and their BMI, not the color of their skin. We'll judge you if you're a fatty. My wife said, all you got to do is lose weight in the stomach. You got no chest, you got no arms, you got no ass, you got no legs. And I can't do it. All right, let me see the next one. Well, I tried to tell you this the other day. I did. I tried to tell you this the other day. I mean, let's just be honest about the world that we live in. Tony Dungy said this, and all of you freaks out there lost your mind. He's racist. Same thing Obama said. But Obama's on the right side of the media. Let's go through. 90% of runaways and homeless kids come from fatherless homes. 90%. 75% of all teenage murderers come from fatherless homes. Now, I will tell you, I have a girl I went to high school with, very nice family. Their son, very good family. 2 people, mom, dad, great family. Their son is one of the most notorious murderers in the city of Missouri. He was a younger brother. He used to come to our parties. We'd go to parties at their house, and there was this kid, Eric, and I'm like, hey, what's up, E? And he idolized me because I was the basketball hero and he was a little kid. So even with, I'm not saying that even with 2 parents, you can't become a murderer. I've seen it myself. In fact, the first guy in the state of Indiana, I think his name was Jeffrey Beering, he lived behind me. He was crazy. He walked around our neighborhood with a guitar, no shirt on, big fat guy, and jeans. A little girl said something to him. He murdered her, stabbing her in the empty lot behind my house 33 times with a screwdriver. He had a mom and a dad at the house. I used to be their paper boy. Beering went to jail. He's the first guy in the state of Indiana that basically got off on insanity. I think he's been in a mental hospital ever since. This leads me to a bigger point. You know, I wish we in our neighborhood had paid more attention to Beering, maybe tackled his dumb ass. But you're not allowed to do that, because if you protect society, then you're a criminal. See New York City. It's ridiculous. 75% of all teenage murderers, fatherless. 71% of all high school dropouts, fatherless. I'm surprised that number isn't more. 70% of kids that are incarcerated, fatherless. And this ain't racist. This is fathers. Fathers matter. 63% of youth suicides, fatherless. I'll give you the other side. My son's best friend's older brother hung himself in the garage. Mom and dad, great people. 60% of all rapists, fatherless. I mean, the numbers are pretty telling, and there's more, of course. The numbers are pretty telling. No, they're very telling. And anybody that argues this can kiss my ass. No, seriously. Anybody that argues this or says someone's racist for pointing that out, you're just an idiot and I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you. I'll give you one. The Attorney General of New Jersey says gender pronouns make a difference. Using correct pronouns is a way of respecting gender identity. Here's a quick summary. You go. I like Ann Lesby. She's funny. I brought my sister 3 months old to Target yesterday for infant tuckers, but all the Pride merch had been moved to the back of the store. And then looked up at me as if to say, Dr. Auntie, where did all the Pride merch go? I started bawling and punched 3 employees. Hey, where'd the Pride merch go? I want Pride merch. Don't groom kids. How about we leave kids alone? We got another one, or is that it? I think that's it. Gender pronouns make a difference. Yeah, what do they make a difference in? What do they make a difference in? They make everybody feel included. You're never going to feel included. I remember when, about this time of year, my 8th grade year, all the kids were going to Michelle Marich's for a pool party. I'm sitting right there and no one invited me. I'm like, hey, I'm right out here. What are we doing? You never always feel included. Everybody wants everybody to feel included. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of you I ain't golfing with. Hey, what about inclusivity? Well, go be included with them. My brother had the greatest line in the history of golf. We're walking from the 9th green to the 10th tee at Cascades Public Golf Course in Bloomington, Indiana. And we got a threesome. It's me, my buddy Kevin Custer, and my brother. Guy walks up and he goes, hey, you mind if I join you? My brother looks at him and he goes, well, frankly, if we wanted you to join us, we'd have called you. It's one of the great lines in the history of the world. The guy certainly had every right to punch my brother, but we're 3 pretty big guys, and he just kind of looked, gave the face like, man, what a jackass you are. But we did allow him to go ahead of us, which was better than having him play with us. Look, you all can include everybody. God bless you. I will not. I don't care if you're gay or if you're straight or whatever you are. If you're fun to play golf with, I'm all in. But I ain't spending 4 hours with you on a golf course as a diversity hire or as an inclusion thing. Look, if you're a pain in the ass, I ain't playing with you. If you cheat, I ain't playing with you. If you can't keep a score, I ain't playing with you. If you whine, I ain't playing with you. If on the first tee you say, when we're starting to make all the bets, well, just tell me how much I've lost at the end of the round, I ain't playing with you. I'm kicking you out of our group. We don't whine. If you can't pay, I ain't playing with you. It's that simple. I don't know what else to tell you. So you can take your pronouns, your cis, whatever, but everybody isn't always going to be inclusive, and it's not my job to make everybody around me feel included. If I don't know you, I don't want you swimming in my backyard. That's simple. I don't care what you are, but we all must feel included. Hey, look, life's hard. Life's a mother. Life ain't easy. No one said it was going to be, damn it. Life's a mother. Some people are going to like you, some people ain't going to like you. 350 bazillion people on this planet. Not everybody's going to think alike or get along, so get over it. And I don't give a damn what your pronouns are, but if you're a jackass, a whiner, or a fraud, you ain't hanging with me. And I ain't hiring you. That's a pretty good rant right there. Has there ever been a bigger fraud than Joe Biden on Father's Day? I mean, seriously. The answer is probably yes somewhere, but I don't know. Great job today, Dylan. Great job, Nick. Great job, Ryan. Thanks to Aaron. I hope everything's going well for my friend Aaron. Gary, thanks for watching. You're the big boss. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Hey, do me a favor. Go to our YouTube page and hit us with likes. Hit us with subscribes. Do me a favor. Retweet the YouTube page. We're trying to build this YouTube page so that when McAfee leaves, we enter the fray with hundreds of thousands of viewers per day. We're doing pretty good. We're doing better than 90% of the people. We're over 10,000 a day, closer to 13. But I'm trying to get that up. I don't care about Twitter. Twitter's a mess. Don't care about it. But you YouTube guys, thank you. And by the way, Sterling and I at 11:10, we're going to be rocking and rolling live on Two Big Brains on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to that as well. We'll see you tomorrow.